It was a hot summer morning on the island of Sodor. Thomas and his friends were at the shunting yards talking about the heat they've been experiencing throughout the summer season. "Mamma mia!" exclaimed Mario. "Yesterday was hot, but today is steaming. Woo!" "Good thing Krusty Sean is selling plenty of refreshments back at Inkopolis," said Octoling Boy. "Those refreshments will help people cope with the heat, that's for sure." "Good thing us bubble guppies live underwater," said Molly. "The heat doesn't affect us underwater like it does on land." "Lucky," said Inkling Girl. "Us Inklings and Octolings drown underwater, and I don't know why." "The heat doesn't affect us railway locomotives either," said Thomas, who was trying to be optimistic like Molly. "Us steam locomotives especially only had to worry about keeping water in our boilers. Although that is a big especially for this kind of heat." Though Annie and Clarabelle were not anywhere as optimistic as Thomas. They were griping endlessly about the heat. "This heat is disgraceful, Clarabelle," said Annie. "It's even worse since we don't have proper air conditioning." "I agree, Annie," complained Clarabelle. "And it gets worse when children spill their ice cream inside of us. Blah!" Just then, the Fat Controller arrived. He had some important jobs for both Thomas and James. "Ah, there you are, Thomas and James," said the Fat Controller. "I have some jobs for you two. Thomas, I need you to pick up a tanker of chocolate sauce at Mr. Jolly's chocolate factory. The chocolate has to be delivered to the ice cream factory, so people have toppings to put on their ice cream to enjoy to cope with the heat." "Yes, sir," said Thomas. "I'll be there as soon as possible." "That's a good engine," said the Fat Controller. "Now, James, I need you to take those trucks of coal and oil to Vickerstown, please. I meant to arrange an engine take those weeks ago, but I never had the time to, so I need you to do it, please." "Coal and oil?" exclaimed James. "Please, sir, I'll do anything but that. Please, I'll—" "Really useful engines do as they're told without complaining," said the Fat Controller. And then he left. "What's wrong with coal and oil?" asked Thomas. "It's best you don't get involved," kindly advised Mario. "Besides, we got a job to do." And so Mario jumped into Thomas's cab, and off the two heroes went to Mr. Jolly's chocolate factory. "Well, stay cool," said Thomas. And off the two went. But James was still furious. "It's not fair," griped James. "Henry should do this. He likes getting his wheels and couplings dirty, so why me?" "Dude, chill out," said Toad. "You're complaining about trucks? Man, I am so confused, man." And Toad and Octoling Boy left for Inkopolis to get some refreshments. "Don't talk," sniffed James. "Oh no!" screamed the trucks. "We want a gentle giant like Henry, not a red monster like you." This only made James more cross. Then the trucks decided to start whispering to each other. "Pay him back! Pay him back!" Just then, the guard blew his whistle, and James was off. The trucks were still grumbling. They wanted to get back at James. "Let's keep our eyes and whatever we have for ears open for a possible scenario to get back at James." "Yes, let's." Soon, James reached the base of Gordon's Hill. He knew he was almost there to Vickerstown. "We're almost there," cried James. Come on," shouted James to the trucks. "Steady now, old sport," advised the driver. As James climbed the hill, he veered onto the other track and kept pushing forward. And soon, he was nearly at the top already. "I've done it, hooray! I've done it, hooray!" cried James. "Attaboy, James!" congratulated the driver. But the trucks had other plans. "Now's our chance," screamed one of the trucks. "Bump him! Push him! Run him off the line!" they screamed. And they did. They pushed James so hard, he went rolling down the hill before he could apply his brakes. "Help!" cried James. Thomas and Mario were waiting at a red signal when James roared in screaming, "Help! Help!" "Mamma mia! What on earth is going on?" James roared down the line onto Thomas's track at full speed. Then he saw something that made his frames shake. There was a sharp curve ahead, and he knew he couldn't slow down in time. "Oh, crikey!" "Oh, bust my buffers," groaned James. "Cinders and ashes, James," exclaimed Thomas. "Are you okay?" But James could only stay in the water, dazed and amazed, until the fat controller arrived. He was red in the face and very cross. "James the Red Engine," he boomed. "I am not pleased with your behavior lately. Annie and Clarabelle told me the entire thing, what happened in the yard after everyone left. I am not pleased with your attitude in the least, James. Once you're back on dry rails, I expect you do better next time. Do I make myself clear?" "Yes, sir. Sorry, sir," murmured James. "That's settled then," said the fat controller. "But I'm afraid we're going to have to wait till sunset, because there's still beach trains running and we don't want an accident nor a hold-up." James could only sit in the sea, feeling sad and miserable. So Thomas had to take James's train and his chocolate sauce tanker as well. "It's all right," said Thomas. "I'll come back to help you." And off he went with his long train. It was finally dark when Thomas came back ready to pull James out of the water. "Ready, James?" asked Thomas. "Ready as I'll ever be," moaned James. Then with every ounce of weight and steam Thomas can muster, he pulled James out of the sea and onto the tracks. James was on tracks again, but was so badly damaged he couldn't move. So Thomas pulled him all the way to the maintenance yard. "I told you to cool down," said Toad, "but that was not my ideal way for a locomotive to cool down, that's for sure." "Never would I thought of James going swimming," chuckled Molly. Then James decided to speak up. "I'm sorry for acting so selfish and snooty," said James. "If there's any way I can make up for it, I will do whatever it takes." "It's all right," said Thomas. "At least now you know better, especially better than to go swimming." And everyone had a good laugh, while James just gave a big, friendly smile.